Okay, so this is my recently modified CX-20 drone. Before I talk about it, let me just show you a brand new one so you know what I'm talking about. This is a very cheap drone. I strongly recommend it if you are thinking about starting or maybe thinking about giving it to someone. It costs around 200 bucks. It's a pretty fun drone and very maneuverable. And as you can see here, you can attach a camera and so on. So let's back to mine. As you can see, I have painted the case and changed the motor, but this is not really important. This is due to another project. But what is important and the reason why I'm taking this video is because of this little circuit here. As you can see, I have attached another receiver and attached it inside there. So before I dig down and explain exactly what this does, let me just show you because it's much easier to show you than to talk about it. First, let's arm the drone. And as you can see, I can just control it normally as it came. But the cool thing is that if I flip this switch here, now the Taranis takes over. And now only the Taranis can control it. And it doesn't really matter what the original controller is doing. The only time that the original controller can recover the control over the drone is when you unflip the switch in the terrain. So that's pretty much it, what I would like to show you. And of course you can disarm and rearm using the terrain, like everything that you normally would do with the original transmitter, you can do with the terrains. So let me just disarm and give you a more detailed view of the circuit. I'm not going to show you the proper circuit, but an schematic because it's easier, of course. So if you are any kind of engineer or someone that have some kind of experience building or designing or implementing circuits like that, this is pretty much all you need to know. Apart from that, the signal that comes here is the one that was attached to the channel that was connected to that switch. Okay, let me re-explain that. This switch here, it's configured in the Taranis to come out in one of the channels of the receiver, right? In my case, it's channel 6. So what I do is I come over here and connect to the receiver, the channel of 6 of the receiver here. So anytime when I plug or unplug, when I flip or unflip the switch in my Taranis, the signal here changes. And the other location that I connected is over here. And all of this circuit here just controls this little guy. And what does this little guy does? When here is 0 volt, it outputs here the signals that comes here. And when it is 5 volts, it outputs here the signal that comes here. It's the same behavior for the other three little pieces here. When it's 0 volts here, the output comes from the micro C, like that. Micro C2 goes to PWM2, micro C3 goes to PWM3. And when it is 5 volts over here, then the output in PWM1 it is RC1, and the output in PWM2 it's RC2, and so on. And how you should connect this? All those micro C signals you should plug to the Taranis transmitter. For instance, here comes throttle, and then aileron, then yaw, and then row. And just like that for the other receiver. For in my case, the CX-20 receiver, I connect here. Throttle from the CX-20 receiver goes to RC1, ailerons RC2, RC3, RC4, and then the outputs, and where here I call it PWM, I connect it to the flight controller. And that's it. That's how you should build it and connect it, and it should work. If you use exactly those values for the resistors and the capacitors, it should just work. And this is a transistor BC547. This is a oscillator 555, and this is a flip-flop of the D-type 7474. And this, I think, is a multiplex. I don't know how to say in English, but it should be called something like multiplexer or something like that. But if you just search for the number, the part number here, you should find it pretty easily. And all of this circuit is pretty easy to build and pretty cheap to build, and give you this opportunity to have two controllers to control the drone. One more thing that I would like to say is why I have built this. In my case, I would like to teach my girlfriend how to fly a drone in a safer way. But of course, you can teach anybody how to fly a drone with this. In my case, I will give this to her, and she already flies pretty well. But if for any reason she got lost flying line of sight, and the drone is going to hit a wall or maybe hit a tree or the ground, I can just flip the switch and take over the control over the drone and hopefully recover it, and bring it back in front of her in a stable form. And then when she's ready to take over the control of the drone, then I can unflip the switch once again. So that's the purpose of why I have built it. I have never seen something like that in the market. Recently, I have seen that the guys of DJI have built a second controller for the Mavic, I think, that works in a pretty similar way, but the only difference is that they don't have a switch. Every time the first control changes some kind of signal, the drone only obeys to the first controller, and after a while, if the first controller doesn't give any different signal, then the second control takes over. But anyways, I have my own. I think it's pretty cool, and probably some people out there would like to build for their own. So that's why I'm sharing. All right. As I said before, if you don't have any kind of knowledge, I'm going probably to do a second video explaining exactly how this circuit works. And then if you want to learn, or if you didn't understand if you didn't understand in the first time, probably you will in the second time when I talk about this. That's it. See you.